Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Drawing with Mr. Sepulveda. I'm Mr. Sepulveda.
And I'm Maya.
And we are continuing to count down the 12 days of Christmas by creating 12 days of Christmas art. If you were here with us yesterday, we ended up creating a fireplace. And today, Maya, tell the viewers at home what we're making.
A snowman with watercolor paint.
And the materials we need today to create our snowman using watercolor paint is obviously some water, some watercolor paint, perhaps a palette, some brushes, we're going to have a pencil, an eraser, and of course at home you'll also need either a watercolor canvas or some watercolor paper, okay? So you guys at home can go ahead and pause the video, grab your materials, and when you're ready, come join us for a little bit of painting. Alright, boys and girls, welcome. I forgot to mention this, and it's because the tape was kind of off corner, but you can put a tape border around your painting just to kind of prevent it from warping as you're using water. This doesn't prevent it all the way, but it does give us a nice border when we're done, when it's nice and dry and ready to be like presented to whoever you want to give it to, or if you want to hang it up, okay? Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is draw out our snowman. So my first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to start down here, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a space down here, and then I'm going to start doing like the bottom part of the snowman. And so usually the bottom part of the snowman is big or small, Maya?
Big.
Yeah, it's pretty big, right? So I'm going to draw what kind of looks like parentheses over here. So I'm going to draw a big kind of like roundish bit over here. Okay.
Oh, it's a bit too big.
Good. And then, oh no, don't worry, it's not too big because we're going to make it big on this side as well. And it's okay if your lines aren't perfect because we're actually going to erase these later, and I'll show you what I mean in just a moment, okay? The next layer is usually just a tiny bit smaller, but still kind of big, right? Because it normally has like the buttons on it, right? So I'm going to kind of go up this way and up like that, okay? Good, good, good. And then for our snowman, usually I notice them wearing like a scarf, so we'll add like a little scarf over here. I'm going to make it like a rectangle. So I'm going to kind of do a rounded rectangle like this. So I kind of want to cross over here to kind of close it. Not that it's going to matter entirely when we erase it, but it does give us a nice spot to put the scarf for when we're painting, because it's going to be a little bit more blocked out and stuff like that, okay? So this is looking really good, okay. And with my scarves, I like to make them kind of come out. So I'm going to make like a little rectangle piece come out over here. Okay, because you know it's kind of winter, right? It's December right now, and it's sometimes the wind kind of blows really hard. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put one over here as well. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of do another like little scarfy bit. Okay. Good. I love yours already. That's looking really good. And then we're going to need a little head, right? So I'm going to kind of draw a round head over here. Kind of like this, okay? So just like a little round head. You can make it as big as you want, okay? This is your snowman. No two snowmans are identical, okay? And it's up to you where you want to put your nose. You can put your nose here in the middle. You can put it over here. But I always like those carrot noses.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to kind of do a triangle over here to the side like he's looking that direction. Just going to kind of do it like that. Ooh, I like that. Yours is looking straighter. Mine's kind of looking up on the angle over here. This is going to be cool. This is going to be cool. We don't have to put in the eyes or anything yet, or the mouth, or like the buttons, because we could do that while we're painting. The next step is to draw the top hat, right? So I'm going to draw a top hat over here. So this is really an easy way of drawing a top hat from underneath. You just kind of make it almost like a bread loaf on top of his head, right? You like bread?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big bready, okay? And then the last thing we got to do here, guys, is draw a rectangle for this top hat.
I just realized I made that.
Oh, you made it too big, and that's okay. That's okay, because we can always fix. Yeah, we can always fix it up afterwards, because we're gonna erase these lines, right? Yeah. And then we're gonna make the big rectangle, anyways. Okay. Yeah. So it does not have to be perfect, right? At all, right? And it's okay even if the top hat goes off the border. Right? Because you know what? That's kind of cool, because it means that whoever took the photo took it really close up, right? All right, so this is our snowman, or snow people, right? And right now, if you got to this step, this is the part that's kind of weird. We're going to erase these, and we're not going to erase them like until we can't see them. We still need to be able to see a bit of it, because what we're going to do with the watercolor is create this background and create the illusion of a ground like snow, right, on the ground, okay? So let's go ahead and start erasing. Alright guys, guys, so the first step for this after we're done erasing is to kind of get ourselves some water here. So I'm going to use a brush here. I've got some dirty water, I've got some clean water that I'm going to be using for our art piece. So I'm just grabbing a brush, and Maya, what I want you to do is take this water and start spreading it on the outside of the snowman. We're not going to touch the snowman at all. We want it to be dry. But what we do want is kind of to drench a little bit. I say drench and I say the word a little bit. That's kind of like
the complete opposite.
The complete opposite is right. Yeah, we just need to wet this outside so that only the background gets hit and not the snowman in the front, okay? So that's kind of what we're doing right now. And this is why we're wetting it. And you're gonna really see when we put the color down, Maya, like how it spreads. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of paint with water, right? Not with the color, just the water part. We're just gonna get close enough but not touch the snowman. There we go. I'm just gonna do it on that side, and then I'm gonna try to make my way across here. Just having fun, painting with water. The best part is like our lines aren't 1000% gone, so it's kind of easy enough to kind of see. Okay. And we want to do this part semi-quick because what we do need to do while we're leaving it on here is trying to get ourselves some paint. We got to mix up some paint in our palettes. Okay. We're just kind of going all around the outside of this guy except for the bottom. We're not going to do the complete bottom because we want there to be snow on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So we're just going to add some water over here. Just going to kind of color that up. Right, this is looking pretty good. Hopefully it looks wet on camera. It's hard to explain
Yeah.
unless you're like right here in person. So yeah, we're going to add that water right there. Okay. Now, while that's kind of sitting there, good job, good job. Yeah, I added a little extra water just in case. And you can always do that even as it's like kind of drying. Hopefully you guys can kind of see this palette. I'm going to mix in a few colors here. I'm going to be using this water brush. It's got water inside of it so that I can kind of keep spraying down. So hopefully you guys can see that right over here. We got some water to start off with. I'm going to grab a couple colors here for myself. And we're going to mix in what we think like a night sky in December would look like. Maya, what kind of colors would you use?
Probably blue and purple and a little bit of black.
Ooh, I like that. So blues, purples, blacks, I think that is really good. I think those are the areas that I'm going to kind of stick to as well. So I've got like this darkish color. I'm going to mix in a little bit of purples because it's kind of like a black. And when I put that purple, it looks really good, Maya. That's a good suggestion. And I'm going to mix in a bit of this blue. And for a little advice for those of you guys painting for the first time, the more I put in my brush and I start spinning it on top of the cake, which is what those squares are called, the more I'm activating the paint. And the more I activate the paint, the more pigment I get. And so when we go into here, you'll notice like, hey, the color's going to start spreading. It's going to start eating up in here. And the best part is we want this color. And the reason we put down all that water is because we want this to be really faded out when we do this, because we want the snowman in the front, in the foreground, to really stick out. So hopefully that kind of helps. So we're going to start painting the background, put in as much color as you want, and I'll kind of explain a little bit more about, you know, adding other pigments to this while it's still wet, because you don't want to do it while it's dry, because then you don't get the same effect. Okay. So I'm just kind of doing one side, making sure I don't hit that snowman. And the best part is with the water, it will prevent you from hitting that snowman entirely. Like it doesn't spread there. And if you got the tape, if you decided to do the tape, well now you just made yourself a beautiful border over here for your snowman to sit in. So you can actually put it in like a picture frame, make it look really nice and neat, right? So I think that's kind of cool. So I'm adding in some color. This is going to be my night sky in December, right? It's getting really dark out now. Right?
Yeah.
Especially during, like, the nighttime just kind of hits you real fast. Like, the daylight's kind of gone. You know, I guess it depends on what part of the world you live in, but it's kind of like that here. So we're just going to add in some more. I'm just going to keep going all the way around. And I'm just dropping in color. It doesn't even have to be, like, spread out really nicely either. Because what we're going to do in a moment, and this is an option, it's optional at home, optional here too for you, Maya, is adding other pigments to this so that we can kind of have them like floating in here, okay? So I'm thinking this is kind of a cool color on its own, but I'm thinking I'm going to add some other pigments. I might even do some more different purples. So So I'm going to grab another type of purple. And instead of mixing it to that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it directly on the paper. I think this is kind of cool. I think it gives me a nice little bit of a wash.
Cool.
I kind of like this purple. Purple looks really nice. I can always go back over it with the color I already mixed right on top of it and really mix the two colors if I really want to. But I like doing it on the paper directly because then it doesn't dilute it, which means it doesn't water it down. I can actually kind of spread it a little bit more. And I can do that to like one half of the paper. I don't have to do it to both sides. I can just kind of keep this side as a different color. Kind of like there's like some ambient light or something like that. So yeah, so we're just going to kind of keep adding in some colors. Gonna add more of this pigment that I've already originally made. I'm dotting it in, letting it spread. And this is the part of watercolor that could be a little nerve-wracking or it could be therapeutic because you got to put it down while it's wet. This is kind of the hard part. And the technique we're using is a wet-on-wet technique. That's why we wet the background and then we added more wet paint to the top of it, stuff like that. If you want like a darker effect, like let's say you want to almost do like an outline, you can kind of do that too. You just kind of keep it towards the edge of that snowman as if you were lining it up with like a pen or a marker, stuff like that. That could also give you that effect of letting it pop out just a little bit, just a wee bit. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to kind of spread that out with some clean water. So I'll just kind of come back with some clean water over it and just kind of spread it outward. Because again, it kind of gives it a little bit of volume. It kind of lets it kind of go. I like how dark you went, and I kind of like the purple on the right. That's a good color. That's a good color. That's kind of what I was aiming for on this side, but I kind of mix the two together just to kind of see what I get. I like experimenting with watercolor because you never know what you're going to get. It's never going to really come out the way that you expect it. Because water is kind of one of those mediums that's hard to predict, like where it's going to go. If I want this one a little bit darker with the original color, I'm just going to use that original color.
That was what I was doing.
That's what you were doing?
The original that I had to add to it.
Oh, I love that, yeah. Because it's a really good color to start off with, no? It's really nice. Okay, I'm going to make sure I get this all the way around this entire piece. So this is kind of like going for another layer almost. Because, you know, again, we're just kind of painting and repainting on top of it. So this is looking really good. There we go. And if things get too wet for you, like it looks too moist, you can always use you can always dry off your brush. So let's say, let me use a different brush so I can kind of show you. This is the brush that I used with water earlier. If I dry it off, right, make sure it's dry to the touch. If I just kind of touch it with this, you kind of, it soaks it up and it dries it out. And you can also get like some of these little cloudy patterns, like these smoky little patterns out. So I'm going to just keep drying it. Just a little bit. I'm just going to kind of touch it wherever. It'll just give it an interesting effect as it dries. And you guys will see that as this video kind of continues, okay? So I'm going to let that I'm going to let that just kind of sit the way it is. I'm going to give you a moment, Maya. Let me know when you feel like you're good.
I think I'm good.
You think you're good? Okay. So at this stage, what I'm going to say for you guys right now is I'm going to have you guys wait for the paint to completely dry or become dry enough so that when we go into the snowman, the colors aren't bleeding, okay? All right, guys, welcome back. Right now our drawings are all dry. So we're going to go ahead and create some orange color for the carrot nose. We'll figure out what colors we want to do for our scarves. And then we're going to go ahead and color in the top hat, okay? So we're just going to need to mix up some colors. So I'm going to grab some orange right now. And this one I'm just going to go directly onto the paper. And you'll kind of notice it's a lot more pigmented without having all that extra water. But it looks pretty cool, I think. So I'm just going to kind of go with this deep orange. Just kind of leave them like that. So this is my carrot nose. Although I did kind of splash it on my on my snowman, but that's okay. It's happy little accidents, right?
That's what I did on my hat. I put the background on.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? It makes it all unique, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's going to be okay. And I like yours. Yours is a little bit more... so notice how mine's drier because I didn't add water, but Maya adds water. Yeah. And what's really cool about this is she can always add other colors to it, and it ought to mix for her. Yeah, but I kept mine really dark, okay? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in a little bit of water right now. to my snowman's hat. So I'm going to kind of color this in. Right? Should be a little bit cleaner than this, but it's okay. I'm going to add some water to the hat on the top part. And then I'll come back to that, I'll come back to the scarf in a minute. What color should his hat be, Maya? Do you have an idea? What color are you going to do for your hat?
Oh my gosh, I just realized this has paint on it.
No, it's okay.
The paintbrush has paint on it.
No, it's okay. It's totally okay. I'm thinking somewhere around...
I'm probably going to do a dark green. Maybe?
Dark green? Ooh, I like that kind of idea.
Yeah,
I do kind of like
a
that.
mix some greens.
Yeah, I'm going to put in like some black in here. And then I think I'm going to do what you said. I think I'm going to put in like a darker green. And I'm just going to add that. And remember, the more you mix it in, the more color you activate. And this way I can kind of get a really good dark green hat. And so I'm going to add that to this mix. And you'll notice because I had the water on it, it starts to spread out a little bit more. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And what's cool about adding in the black to this green one is the fact that it kind of matches a little bit with the background because I mixed in some black into my background too. And I think you did as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of looks like, because it's dark out, our hats look darker. So I think that's kind of fun. The only difference I'm going to do here, Maya, is because the bottom part of his hat is really underneath him, I'm not going to add water to it. I'm just going to take the paint the way it is, or almost the way it is, and kind of come dark on it, similar to how I made that nose. I'm just going to kind of make sure that this is more darker, because in shadow. So I didn't add water to this area. I just took it off my palette like this. I just kind of started spreading it out. So that's what I'm doing, to make it a little bit darker than the actual hat, like the top part of the hat. But I'm also making sure I don't hit that snowman head, because I don't want my snowman's head to be green, you know?
Yeah. Oh, geez, that was really dark. This one.
Yeah, it's a little bit darker, right? And if you want to, if you add more water to it, right? If you even like if you just touch the tip of your brush into the water cup and come back at it, we ought to change the color a little bit. Or if you want this kind of dark green, I don't mind sharing with you in case you want that. That one's going to be a little bit darker. Let's see how that comes out. Yeah, does it mix pretty well?
Oh yeah.
All
That
right.
one mixes.
Ooh, good, good, good. So I'm just going to kind of keep it like this. There we go. There we go. I kind of like this color. And I'll come back later with that band like that we were talking about. Okay. I noticed that you got a pool of water over here.
Yeah.
So do you remember that trick I taught you? So if you dry off your brush and then you kind of hit it, right? We can dry it off. Do you want to try it out? Do you want me to try it out? Do you want to try this guy?
I'll do it.
Good, yeah, good. So it soaks it up. Good, right there. Perfect, right? That looks really good, Maya. Looks
I
really good.
add some more color to it because it's really pale.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. Add some color to it. Ooh, yeah, that now I see the difference.
Definitely.
This is better, right? It's a lot darker. And I think kind of adds to it. So that's really cool. So yeah, so in case in case that happens to you guys at home, like where it looks too light, you want to change it up. Best part about watercolors, you can dry it up real quick. You can add more pigment, and it can change everything. Okay. All right. Now I got to think about what my scarf is going to look like. I'm thinking maybe like a purplish blue for me.
Well, I was just gonna say blue.
Ah, great minds think alike. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that same thing like we did before. I'm going to paint with water a little bit. Just to make this side lighter, because I'm going to want the scarf that was off to the side of the snowman to be darker. I'm just kind of adding water to this as I go. Okay, and then I'm going to try to mix in some of this color over here. So let's see. So I need something like bluish purpley. I don't know. This might be it. Let's check it. That's kind of a nice color. I'm going to try that color out. Yeah, I like this color. So I'm just going to kind of keep mixing into it. I'm going to activate it more by putting my brush through it. Ooh, look at that. Look at that, Maya. See? Look.
Whoa.
Starts mixing because of all that water I put down. That's pretty dope. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably like the fun part about water paints, because you get to experiment with it. And it looks pretty cool. It comes out really nice. There we go. And I think to get it darker, Maya, I think I'm going to do your idea about using that black again from before.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add some black to this. And a little bit more of that blue.
Yeah, because that one might be too dark.
Might be too dark is right. Let's see if we can mix that. It's kind of like a grayish, I don't know. I know I'm feeling about it yet. I might need some more blue. There we go. Okay, I think that's better. I think that's my dark blue right here, Maya.
Oh,
I think that's
yeah.
it. Yeah. Ooh, see, yours is doing the same thing. I love it, right? When you start adding that extra pigment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it look like it's swirled.
Yeah, I like the swirl. I don't know why. It looks really cool. I'm going to just color in this back part of this scarf over here. And of course, it's going to be a little bit darker. And it's okay if you color out the lines too. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. And look, see this part? When I add water to it, this part drips in. So it gives it a little bit of a natural blend here, which is really, really cool.
So this is what I was thinking. I would add my dark sky color to my scarf color to make it darker.
Well, I like that idea. Try it out. And again, like experiment at home, guys. Experiment with this color because I think it's a lot of fun to kind of mess around with it a bit. Because I really like how that one came out. I would not have mixed this up on my own. I don't think I would have. Okay? All right. So I'm going to let this sit for a moment. I'm going to let Maya finish up her scarf, and then I'll tell you what we'll try out next. All right, guys, now that we're back, we're going to create some shadows for our snowmans so we can make them pop out a little bit. I'm going to make sure I've got some clean water here. Hopefully it's clean on the way out. There we go. And I'm going to try to grab some gray. So my gray's a little too dark for this, right? But we can make it lighter by adding a little bit of white or a little bit more water. But I think I'm going to try out a little bit of the white first. All right, guys, so now we're ready. We've got our grays, and so Maya, I'm going to show you where we're going to put them. We're going to put some grays down here, right on the outside of this, I guess that's the bottom part of the snowman. I'm just going to kind of spread it out a little bit. Okay, just like this. Just going to let it spread. Just try to create that round shape. Yeah, it looks good. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this opposite side, right here. Okay, just like that. Good. And I'm going to put a little bit of a line over here. I'm going to try to keep it as thin as possible. I'm like barely touching it so that we can have like a layer of where the two snowballs meet. I'll do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to kind of do the outside right here. So notice I'm just putting gray on the outside. Anywhere we kind of perhaps have a shadow on our snowmen or snow people.
Snow people.
Okay. And it's okay, I've got some blue mixing in here, but you know what? That adds some coolness to it, I think. And I'm also going to add a shadow on this side by the scarf. We'll just like let it be alongside of it. And on the outside right over here by his belly. And again, it's really okay if the colors mix. That's what watercolors are intended to do. They're supposed to mix with each other. But it's looking pretty cool, right? To get the snow effect, what we'll do is just kind of dab around, just kind of mix them around over here. And it's okay if it goes into your background, because you know there's snow over here, right? Yeah. I'm just going to kind of mix and match it wherever, right? Just so I know there's snow, right? I don't want it to not look like anything down here. You could always put grass, you could put presents, right? You could have done whatever it is you want with this background, or this bottom part of the snowman, but I'm just going to kind of leave it with some chunks of snow that are a little bit gray, a little washed out, and that's okay. This is kind of my jam. I kind of like this. Right? I'm going to leave some gaps in here with whites, and I think it looks all right. Okay? Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking how you're choosing how to lay down your colors. So I really like the way that you did that. And then we've only got a couple more things left on this, Maya, believe it or not. Okay? So we got some shading over here underneath the hat. So I'm going to kind of go underneath this hat and to the side over here of the snowman. There we go. And notice like my blue's kind of like leaking in there, Maya, but again, like I said, this is okay. It's fun experimenting. And you know, what better way to have fun for the holidays than painting a snowman, right? So this is looking really cool. So I like that. We got three things left, okay? One, we got to put that band in the hat, right?
Yeah.
Two, we got to give him eyes. And then three, buttons. Okay, maybe step four, we got to give him hands. I forgot about the hands, oh my goodness, okay? So let's do these really quickly. Let's figure out the color we want for that band. I'm thinking I want it to be the same green color I used for the bottom. Because now that I put it on top, it's going to be darker than what I have. So I'm going to actually use the exact same color, okay? So the way I'm going to do it is by putting it above the rim of the hat. So that's the rim of the hat. Look at that. That's actually perfect the way it is. Just like that, right? But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it just a little bit thicker on mine. Just like that. Just like two lines thick. And I'm going to leave it like that. That's actually pretty perfect. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. How are you feeling about yours?
I think mine's good.
Yours is pretty good?
I have to add a band.
A little bit more green?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah. Add as much color as you need. If you want to change it up, it could be a different color if you want. It's whatever it is that you want, kiddo. Yeah. And I love it. And again, but you know what happens, right? What do we talk about? We get a dry brush. So try this out, look. Watch this. Boom, boom. Kind of just dab it. And then you might just have to like mix it in there somewhere. Okay. There you go. Yeah, just like that. See? Becoming a watercolor artist. Look at you. I love it. I absolutely love this. Oh yeah, and look, you got rid of the white space that I left. It looks good. Okay. And we got to give him some eyes. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm going to change my brush here real quick. I just need a little bit of water, and I'm going to use generic black eyes.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
So I'm going to do this. I'm going to just put a dot or a circle. The circle looks pretty okay. I didn't make an awesome circle, but I made a circle. And then I'll do another one on this side. Okay, that one's more of a circle to me than this one, but you know what? That's okay. Oh, you know what? It's because the bristles are a little bit kind of wonkish, right? So do you want to try this one? Here, try this one. This one's got, here, I'll load it up with some black. There you go. Try that. That might be a little bit better. Let's see what you do. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big eyes.
Yeah, and if you change up the amount of pressure you do, right, it changes the amount of the size, right? So look, if I do little pressure, gives me a little bit, right? Instead of like a lot of bits. So let's try
Yeah,
light
like
pressure.
eyes.
Yeah. I didn't even think about adding a smile until just now. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I know, crazy. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and just give them a little button. They don't have to be black for the buttons, but I figure since I have black on this, I might as well just keep it. Do you want this one back, or you gonna try that one?
I'll try it.
You gonna try that one? Okay.
I'm at 3 buttons.
Ooh, 3 buttons? Oh, I like the difference. I like it. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do, I could just put this in my clean water because we're at the end of this. I'm going to load it up with some black. And this is where we got to be a little careful, okay? Because we're going to add in some hands. So I'm going to put a hand right over here. And he's going to have a little bit of these fingies. He's going to have little fingers. I'm going to give him 3 fingers. Just like that.
Ooh, that's big.
Hey, you could do whatever you want. I like that. He's got thick hands, and I like it. I like it. And then I'm going to add one right over here. Try to be careful. Look, I'll give him a thick hand as well. How's that? So he's not like perfectly symmetrical. But I will give him 3 fingers. Okay. Just like that. You want to try that? You got it? Okay, good. All right, and boys and girls, that's it. That's all there is to it when it comes for your snowman. But real quick, Maya and I are going to do something a little special with these. We did grab some acrylic white paint, and we got some toothbrushes, and so what we're going to do is we're going to give it a little bit of a splatter snow effect. So if you want to see that, just hold tight for just one moment. Favorite part, right? Ready for a little splatter? Let's go. Look got a little winter wonderland. Put as much snow or as little snow as you want. This is pretty much it, boys and girls. We really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Come join us tomorrow where we'll be creating an elf on a shelf. You guys have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.